I'm going to start this one off by telling people something that I've said before in videos, which is I like bridge contracts. So a player comes out of his entry-level contract now, and he gets an 8-year deal. Bam. 8 years. Done. And then when he's in his early 30s, he'll get another deal for 4 or 5 years. There you go. The problem is, players aren't that predictable. So when you sign all these 8-year deals, there's going to be contracts that are bought out, there are going to be contracts that are problems, and there are going to be guys making too much money. This past season, Anthony Mantha scored 24 goals, 24 assists, 58 points, or 48 points. Good totals. And now he gets a 2-year, $6.6 million contract. So $3.3 million on average from Detroit. That's a bridge contract. And it's funny because all a bridge contract means is that you're coming out of your entry level and a GM saying you're good. Let's see how good you are. Usually a bridge contract is 2 to 3 years. It's more money than they got in their entry level, obviously. But it's not quite what they're going to make as a veteran later. The funny thing is, while I am, in a way, praising Ken Holland for signing the bridge deal, it's also part of what gets him into trouble. Because then when he signs those really long-term, big money deals, is when a player starts to crest down. So it's a tricky argument for me to make. Because I can understand both sides. I can see a GM saying I want a bridge contract so that I know what I'm getting before I sign him to a long-term contract. I want to be able to get my money's worth out of this guy, and also by signing this bridge deal for $3.3 million instead of a long-term deal, which would have likely been $5 or more million a year for what Mantha's capable of. It saves him money now, but and here's the but, and it's a big asterisk. At the end of this 2-year contract, if Mantha continues his upward momentum, he could be worth $6 or $7 million a year. Absolutely. So there's risk on both sides, but I like the signing. I think, again, it's a restricted free agent. You're going to see a lot of restricted free agents getting re-signed by their teams between now and middle of August. And this is just the nature of the game. But it is interesting to see Ken Holland, an old veteran GM, doing an old veteran GM thing by signing a guy to a bridge contract. So there's no risk right now. The risk is 2 years from now that if Mantha becomes a 30 goal scorer, gets 60, 65 points, somewhere in that range, that they'll have to pay him a ton more. And that is always a risk. And I can think of, I want to say PK Subban in Montreal comes to mind as an example of how bridge contracts can go wrong. But there are instances as well where bridge contracts can go right. But we'll see where it goes, really, honestly. I do think the Wings have a good shot this year. And I think that keeping Mantha on a short-term deal for a reasonable cap hit is a smart way of going about it. But we'll revisit it in 2 years and see whether I was right or not. Let me know what you guys think. As a Red Wings fan, are you excited about this, or do you wish it was more of a long-term deal for more stability? And again, hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You're just having fun this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.